Have you ever sat alone in your kitchen, staring at your cup of tea going cold, wondering when did things change? Maybe your son used to call every weekend, and now it's once a month, if that. Or maybe your daughter, who used to ask for advice about everything, now brushes off your opinions like they're outdated. It's a painful feeling, isn't it? One minute you're their world, and the next, you feel invisible. And here's the hard truth: sometimes, your own children, the ones you raised, the ones you sacrificed for, begin to treat you with less respect than you deserve. Not always out of cruelty, but out of busyness, distraction, or just forgetting that you're still the same strong, capable person you've always been. But that doesn't mean you have to accept being dismissed or overlooked. You are still worthy of respect, of dignity, and of being heard. And today, we're going to talk about 5 ways you can begin to reclaim that, not through anger, not through guilt, but through grace, wisdom, and quiet strength. Because no matter your age, you have the right to feel valued. And sometimes, it just takes a few meaningful changes to remind the people around you, and maybe even yourself, of the role you still play. Let's start with something simple, yet powerful: reclaiming your voice. When you feel disrespected or dismissed, it's easy to fall silent. To think, what's the point? They won't listen anyway. But silence, while sometimes peaceful, can also be misunderstood. It can be seen as agreement. Or worse, acceptance. And I get it. You don't want to cause conflict. You don't want to come off as nagging or overly sensitive. But there's a way to speak up without turning it into a battle. The key is clarity and calm. The next time your child interrupts you, dismisses something you say, or makes a decision that affects you without asking, pause. Look them in the eye. And with quiet confidence, say something like, "I'd like to share my thoughts on this, because I still have something to offer." You don't need to lecture or demand. Just remind them, gently but firmly, that you deserve to be heard. Sometimes, that one sentence can shift the whole tone of a conversation and make them stop and think, "Wait a minute. I haven't been listening, have I?" The second step to regaining dignity is all about how you carry yourself. And this isn't about wearing fancy clothes or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about owning your space again. When people feel ignored or undervalued, they start to shrink, physically and emotionally. They avoid eye contact, they slouch, they make themselves small in every way. But you have every reason to stand tall. You've lived through things your children haven't even imagined. You've built a life, survived hardship, loved deeply, and kept going. That's not something to hide. That's something to own. Start small. The next time you're around your children or their families, walk into the room with purpose. Make eye contact. Smile. Don't wait to be acknowledged, greet them first. Say their names. Take up space, not with arrogance, but with quiet assurance. When you carry yourself like someone who respects themselves, it invites others to do the same. And here's something beautiful I've seen time and again: when you treat yourself with dignity, people, especially your children, start to see you differently. Not as someone clinging to the past or stuck in their ways, but as someone who still matters. Who still leads, still teaches, still inspires. Let's talk about one more shift that makes all the difference: letting go of guilt. This one's tough, I know. Because when children pull away or grow distant, we often blame ourselves. Did I push too hard? Was I too soft? Did I mess up somehow? And the truth is, maybe you made mistakes. Most parents do. But that doesn't erase the years of love, care, sacrifice, and guidance you gave. Guilt is like a fog. It clouds your confidence and weakens your boundaries. And when you carry guilt into your interactions, it changes your tone, your posture, even the words you choose. It puts you on defense when what you really need is calm, grounded strength. So here's what I encourage you to do: forgive yourself. Whatever happened in the past, today is a new day. You're not defined by old parenting missteps or misunderstandings. You are more than those moments. And when you walk into a conversation without guilt dragging behind you, you walk in freer, stronger, more open to connection. It's okay to say, I know we've had some hard times, but I still love you, and I'm still your parent. And I want us to treat each other with respect. Not from a place of shame, but from a place of love. Because at the end of the day, regaining dignity isn't about controlling others, it's about remembering your own worth. And gently, consistently, helping others remember it too. Once you start letting go of guilt and step back into your sense of worth, something changes. Maybe not instantly, and maybe not dramatically, but slowly, things start to shift. And it shows, not only in how you carry yourself, but in how others respond to you. That's the beauty of self-respect. It radiates. But there's another layer we need to explore, and that's something many people over 60 quietly struggle with, setting boundaries with love. It's not always easy, especially when it comes to your children. After all, you're used to giving your time, your energy, your patience, because that's what parents do, even long after the kids are grown. But sometimes, being too available, too accommodating, too willing to sacrifice your own comfort, it backfires. And not in the way you might expect. Instead of feeling appreciated, you feel taken for granted. Instead of being respected, you feel dismissed. The hard truth? If you're always saying yes, always making room for their last-minute needs, always letting things slide because they're busy, you may be sending the message that your time, your feelings, and your needs don't matter as much as theirs. And that's not the message you want to send. So here's what reclaiming dignity can look like in those moments: learning to say no, gently, clearly, and without guilt. Let's say your adult child cancels plans with you for the third time in a row. You might be tempted to say, that's okay, don't worry about it. But maybe this time, you say, I understand you're busy, but I value our time together, and I'd really appreciate it if we can make our plans a priority next time. Or maybe they expect you to drop everything to babysit or run an errand, assuming you're not doing much anyway. Instead of just going along with it, you can respond with, I love helping when I can, but I also have my own routine now. Let's find a time that works for both of us. It's not about being rigid. It's about teaching others how to treat you. You're not being selfish, you're setting healthy limits that protect your energy and reinforce your value. And speaking of value, let's talk about something that often goes unspoken, reminding your children, subtly and consistently, that you're still growing, still learning, and still evolving. There's a strange belief in some families that after a certain age, parents just kind of stop. They stop dreaming, stop changing, stop being interested in new things. But that couldn't be further from the truth, and sometimes, the best way to earn back respect is to surprise them. Maybe you take up a new hobby, painting, gardening, writing, or something simple like walking each morning with intention. Maybe you start reading up on a topic you never had time for before. Maybe you finally get around to organizing your old photos or starting that memoir you've always thought about. Whatever it is, make it known, not to show off, but to show that you're still living a full life. When your children see that you're not sitting around waiting on their attention, but instead cultivating your own world, something shifts. You become more than mom or dad again. You become you. And there's real power in that. Because suddenly, you're not just asking for respect, you're inspiring it. One woman told me that after she started going to a weekly watercolor class at the community center, her daughter started calling her just to ask how it was going. I didn't realize you were such an artist, she said. And that one little thing sparked more conversations, more curiosity, and, yes, more respect. Sometimes, the best way to remind people of your worth is to stop trying so hard to prove it. Just live it. Do the things that light you up. Pursue the joys you've put off for too long. When you start choosing yourself again, the world, especially the people closest to you, starts to notice. And here's something else I want you to hold on to. Your dignity does not depend on how others treat you. It begins with how you treat yourself. So even if the respect doesn't come right away, even if they're slow to change or don't even see what's happening, don't let that shake you. This journey is for you. When you speak your truth calmly, when you walk into a room like you belong, when you stop apologizing for having needs, when you guard your time with love, and when you keep growing because you want to, something incredible happens. You don't just regain dignity, you redefine it. And here's the most beautiful part. You give your children permission to grow, too. To learn. To reflect. To repair. Because maybe they've gotten distracted. Maybe they don't know how to express what they feel. Maybe they're still figuring out how to be adults while remembering you're still a powerful presence in their life. But by reclaiming your role, not by demanding it, but by living it, you become a mirror. A gentle reminder of what respect, strength, and grace truly look like. You've walked through the hard feelings, the quiet realizations, and the powerful shifts that begin the moment you decide to stop waiting to be respected and start living with dignity again. Now let's talk about something that ties it all together: forgiveness, not for them, but for you. Because sometimes the disrespect hurts more than we care to admit. Sometimes it's not just an offhand comment or a missed call. Sometimes it's deep. It's years of being dismissed, of feeling unappreciated, or being made to feel like you're only needed when something goes wrong. And that kind of pain can sit in the heart for a long time, quietly growing heavier with each passing year. But here's the truth: if you carry that pain into every conversation, every interaction, every silent moment, it robs you of joy. It clouds your presence. It pulls you back into a place where you're waiting to be validated instead of simply being you. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's not letting people off the hook. It's deciding that your peace is worth more than holding on to the anger. You don't need to forgive everything all at once. But each time you choose to release a little resentment, each time you say, "I'm moving forward, not backward," you give yourself more space to feel free. And when you're free, you don't have to chase respect. You become it. Now, maybe you've done all the right things. You've spoken up. You've set boundaries. You've pursued your own passions. But the changes from your children are slow. Or they're just not happening. That can be incredibly disheartening. But I want to tell you this: sometimes, dignity means respecting yourself even when others don't. Because self-respect isn't a performance. It's a practice. You still get up every day and take care of your body, your home, your mind. You still speak with kindness, even when it isn't always returned. You still live intentionally, with love and clarity, because you know who you are. And when people see that you're no longer bending or begging for respect, when they see you grounded, graceful, and unshaken, they will either rise to meet you, or you will continue to rise without them. Either way, your dignity remains intact. I spoke with a man in his early 70s who told me something I'll never forget. He said, "I realized I was spending so much time trying to fix my relationship with my son that I forgot to nurture my relationship with myself. And once I started doing that, taking care of my health, making new friends, learning to cook again, I felt more alive than I had in years." My son came around eventually, but even if he hadn't, I was already standing tall. That's what I hope for you. Not a perfect relationship, but a powerful one, with yourself. Because when you come home to yourself, with acceptance and pride, it changes the tone of everything else. You are not defined by the way your children treat you. You are not the sum of their moods, their words, or their distance. You are the life you've built. The strength you carry. The stories only you can tell. You are worthy of respect because of who you are, not because someone finally woke up and gave it to you. So if you're watching this and your heart feels heavy, I want to remind you, you still matter. You still have so much to offer. And no matter what anyone else sees, or doesn't see, you can live each day with dignity, grace, and joy. Start with the small things. Stand up straight. Speak your truth with calmness and courage. Say no when you need to. Say yes to yourself more often. Let your life reflect the value you hold inside. And little by little, you'll notice something incredible happen, not just in your family, but in your entire world. People will begin to meet you at the level you've claimed for yourself. So, if this message has touched something in you, if it reminded you of your strength, your worth, your wisdom, I'd love for you to share that in the comments. Maybe you've been through this. Maybe you're still going through it. Either way, your voice belongs here. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people, especially those feeling quietly overlooked, find messages like this. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more content that speaks directly to the heart of life after 60, real conversations, real solutions, and real respect. You don't need to rely on others to define your worth. It's already inside you. And from this day forward, you get to walk with your head high, your spirit strong, and your dignity fully restored. Here's to living with quiet strength, deep self-respect, and a heart that never forgets its own value, no matter what. You deserve nothing less.